Yo, welcome to the Fantasy Cheat Sheet brought to you by Going for Two. Jamie, hit the intro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Live and direct with the Bro Prediction Show. I've been told this is my first one, but this is the best show of the year. Jordan, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm excited. I've been looking forward to this show. This show means that we are very, very close to the season. So, man, I'm looking forward to talking with y'all tonight.
Jamie, I see you over there. What's up with you, King?
As you can see, Mike's running a little bit late, but he'll pop in as soon as he gets here. But I'm pumped just to talk these bold predictions, man. So sit back and let's get into it.
We so close. We so close. Shout out to Drop the Mike FF on Twitter. Y'all make sure y'all drop Mike a follow. Let's blow up his mentions, and he's gonna be in here shortly. This is the Fantasy Cheat Sheet, like I said, presented by Going42. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Twitch, and everywhere. Make sure you guys check out the Discord. What do we got going for news with about 2 weeks before kickoff?
Well, CeeDee Lamb signs his contract. I mean, I saw it coming. I wasn't fading him. I got him in a couple drafts at like 5th, 6th pick overall. And that's ridiculous, man. People were scared. Not me.
Same. You knew it was going to get done. They don't have anybody else. The Cowboys like to do this. Wait till the 11th hour in the off season, right before the season starts, and then end up giving the guys what they wanted. So it happened. He's worth it. And yeah, now we can rest anybody who drafted him earlier this offseason can rest easy because he's going to be full go.
Yeah, I think he was going to get the well-deserved money to be the alpha there in Dallas. I think he actually got more guaranteed than Justin Jefferson, but the total deal for Jefferson was more. Mm-hmm. It was kind of different how they structured his. But hey, get the man paid, get him out there on the field. I just seen an alert when I walked in the door, and it went change status from healthy to NA. I was like, oh, sleeper, you tripping. I'm not even gonna pay that no mind. Did y'all hear about the news in the Cleveland? Jamie, your boy Deontay Foreman released?
I don't know why they cut him. He was like one of my last round picks just because I knew Chubb was going to be on IR in the beginning of the season. I guess now, I mean, they're just going to use Ford and Pierre Strong. I mean, who else do they really have?
They only kept those two on the roster right now, so it's just them rolling with Ford and Pierre Strong. I know a couple of weeks ago we kind of talked about this. You guys were mentioning Strong. You, Reggie in particular, had mentioned them. And I was like, oh, man. but here we are. He is one of the last guys standing. Chubb is going to miss at least 4 games. Yep. Pierre Strong is going to have some value. If Jerome Ford is as bad as you guys said he's been, then Pierre Strong has a real opportunity here.
Isn't the ghost of Nyheim Hines on this team, or did he make it to the cut?
He's on PUP as well, or okay. FI list, I believe. So I think he'll.
Got you. Yeah, thank you for that. Shout out for Pierre Strong. I always liked the eye test with him, and you ever have a hard time getting out your own way? Because when I mentioned that, I had picked him up. And since then, I've dropped them in a couple of leagues, and I'm running back like, oh, God darn it. Let me get back to that spot. Packers news in Green Bay. They cut AJ Dillon. They got him up out of here. Oh, no.
He's in IR.
He's on IR, which is strange because I thought he had a knee or something. And then IR? Yeah. Season ending when I seen it pop up. Is that what y'all heard?
Yep. Season ending injury, neck injury. So obviously that's something that they're being cautious with. Anytime it's something like that, you want to make sure the guy's fully healthy before you try to get him out there. But that was one of the most surprising news I've heard today. I didn't anticipate that coming down the pike. We talked about AJ Dillon a couple of weeks ago, and it was like, you can't drop him. but so like you want to keep him, but you're not sure how much he's going to produce. But now that kind of in some leagues, obviously redraft more, you don't have to draft them at all. But now Marshawn Lloyd, who's been dealing with an injury, his opportunity is there all year now. So, he doesn't have to worry about starting slow because AJ Dillon may play well. He can just ease himself into the action. That they still have Emmanuel Wilson on the roster as like the third running back. So maybe he gets some opportunities early until Lloyd is up to speed. But this was shocking. But for people who were worried about AJ Dillon messing up Lloyd or messing up with Josh Jacobs, I mean, that's over with, because obviously the Packers still believed in him. But so now this kind of clears the decks for more Josh Jacobs and Lloyd when he's ready to go.
Yeah, they have to. I feel like they got to bring somebody else in. They can't just go, I'm going to get the roster up and see who else. Somebody we're not thinking of must be there to make that cut. I'm talking about Cleveland, but even in Green Bay with Floyd being a little banged up with a hammy, it's interesting that they're going to the Packers are probably going to do something at the running back position, losing Dillon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to.
Another surprising injury today comes out here on the West Coast from the Niners. Niners, bang, bang, Niner gang. Put Elijah Mitchell on a season-ending IR. He was the one I think that I thought he was just slightly injured. Did you hear about what pertained to this Elijah Mitchell injury?
Well, I know during our division previews, he was kind of banged up. And I think I brought up just it's not worth really drafting anyone that not CMC. If you were going to take a shot on someone, maybe Jordan, was it Jordan Mason?
Yes.
Yeah, either him or like that Cody Schrader, Garendo. But yeah, I mean, this just opens up more for those guys to get some of the snaps.
Yeah. He had been dealing with a multitude of injuries. It was a hamstring, and then I think he had several knee injuries that he had kind of been dealing with over the last few years, and all of it just kind of added up to them eventually just having to shut him down. Mason's there. I think he's the number 2 right now. Garendo. I thought they cut Cody Schrager, but
I looked, not yet. Well, I'm over here like, ooh, I got some life.
I thought they cut it, but he's still there. So, that's some guys to look into. CMC still has his calf, but they anticipate he'll probably be ready. But this Elijah Mitchell news really opens the door to a valuable piece that, you want to be a part of.
Most definitely. I hate to circle back, but I completely forgot about Nick Chubb with the Cleveland situation. Do you guys think that he might be further along to coming back? That's why they felt like it was okay to let go of Foreman. I just thought about that. We'll get to the next news.
I'm just thinking it's going to be the 4 weeks, and then he'll be back week 5.
Yeah,
that
probably
would make sense.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. That just means they wanted to make sure they use these 4 weeks, make sure, and then he'll be ready to go.
And with the Elijah Mitchell thing, I think this is the last year of his contract. He didn't get high draft capital, so there's no fifth year option.
Right.
So this may be it for him as a 49er. And some of these teams, like with the lesser players, have you ever been like an injury settlement? Because these roster spots are valuable. Like, could they be like, yeah, do you really want to play? How bad is your leg? I don't know. I don't want to be like it's a shady thing from an organizational standpoint. Well, we've seen it with other players like Russell Wilson. Do you think sometimes these teams are like, yeah, just take the year off. We're good. Like they're excited about what they have. They use leverage a player to just say screw it for season ending. Season ending this late is weird.
Yeah.
So I see we got some notable cuts that we want to talk about. First off, Tim Patrick. I know some people were starting to come on Tim Patrick lately. I heard his name probably like at least a dozen times in the past week as like a sleeper pick, but the Denver Broncos parted ways with him. What do you guys think?
That's shocking to me. This is this is news that's news to me. I hadn't heard that. Now I read that he's probably going to sign with the Lions, or the Lions signed him already. So
Yeah,
that's
they dropped Peoples Jones. So
Right. I didn't hear that either. Nice.
right. So that was interesting. So I guess that means Josh Reynolds is going to be the unquestioned number 2 right now until Franklin's up to speed.
Yeah, and I did hear about Devon Vele is going to get some playing time. I had mentioned him a while back, really old rookie. But Patrick, I thought they were saying they were going to trade him, but they're just let him go, and he got instantly picked up. That's amazing for him. But I thought that they invested a lot of money into Tim Patrick before his injury. I thought that would be hard for them to cut.
Yeah. But for him, he went to a better situation. I mean, he's still wide receiver 3 on a good offense now. So he'll have some opportunities. They'll actually win, and he'll be playing indoors, not in Denver.
Yeah, I think there's 14 indoor
games
games
this season. Yeah,
that's
why I'm high on golf. Well, because of that schedule. So yeah, that's Tim Patrick. That's a surprising one as well.
Yeah, and then Broncos weren't even done yet because they let Samaje Perine go. I thought he was going to be the odd man out, so this wasn't really a big news to me. But yeah, what do you guys think about Perine? Where could he end up?
You won't like what I think he's going, where he's going.
Cowboys.
Whenever it was, I had heard reports earlier in the offseason that it was Javonte and Samaje Perine kind of competing for that last running back spot. At that point, I knew Perine was going to be the odd man out. He wasn't going to beat Javonte out, but similar to Tim Patrick, somebody's going to pick him up soon, and he'll be serviceable.
He's good for football.
Do you think he can go back to the Bengals?
I think so. They just lost it back to a season-ending injury. They got a
I
spot.
hope not. He's just gonna mess stuff up.
He is. He can pass block really good, and he knows the system. And he's a team guy.
I've been looking forward to having shares of Zach Moss and Chase Brown, but with Perine there, it's just gonna muddy things up.
Excellent pass blocker.
And he's already there.
But he'll probably be better there. Oh, but it's all 3 of them. Yeah, that sucks.
yeah.
So yeah, this next one, I didn't even know Boston Scott was on the Rams. I mean, I don't know. For some reason, I thought he was still in Philly. But yeah, no, the Rams ended up cutting bait with him. I think they paid him $1.2 million contract and then just let him walk. Doesn't make sense because I also heard that Kyron Williams is punts now. So that means usually the backup running backs like to return punts. So if you're drafting Kyron in the 2nd round, enjoy your backup running back.
Right. Ronnie Rivers to the moon. No, but for real, when I seen that, it had to been some kind of, I was like, really? Which there's leagues out there now that have kick return yards. So in Scott Fish, if this is true, oh my. But we are just told to our face, a bald lie, we want to reduce his usage and injuries. And we're going to throw him back there to return punts, which he might be amazing at. But what Tutu Atwell go do now?
Yeah, and I guess for me, I thought guys who are really fast return punts.
Yeah.
I don't think Kyron's that fast. Maybe I'm tripping, but I don't think
he's pretty slow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a weird thing to do when you think about all the things they've said this offseason, and then just his profile as a player, it just doesn't add up unless Jamie can, pat himself on the back here with Blake Corum to the moon. If that's what Sean McVay believes, then this would make sense as to why they made this decision.
Yeah, he's a weapon. We'll see. Let's see if Tutu Atwell get cut. Then this is true. Now I don't even know if Tutu return punts. But is that all for the cuts? Any more cuts?
No, we got a few more. Mike White got cut by the Dolphins, so that leaves Skylar Thompson as the backup. It kind of sucks because I just yesterday, or 3 days ago, I sent an offer to the Tua owner to get Mike White off my roster, and today I see a decline. So,
Got you. Yep. That's somehow how it goes. I just recently traded. I want to ask you guys real quick what you guys think of this 12-team, 1 QB, I believe, Zamir White and Pop Douglas for JSN, and I received JSN. That's fine.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Let's see what else we got here. Sterling Shepard got cut. I didn't even know he was on the Tampa Bay Bucks.
He wanted to reunite with his guy Baker, man. Baker was the reason
Yeah.
he even signed with the Bucks, I think.
Oh,
does this
who?
mean
Allen
anything to
Robinson?
you guys?
No, Sterling Shepard.
Oh, okay, Sterling Shepard.
Hmm.
Allen Robinson got cut too.
Yeah, I didn't know he was on the Giants, to be honest
Yep.
with you.
This one kind of surprised me. Terrace Marshall got cut from the Panthers. They put like high draft capital into him, and I know he didn't really develop much, but I mean, he was still a guy that could be on the roster, and they just let him go.
Yeah, that was interesting to me as well. Like, they've just been drafting young guy after young guy, and they're not giving him a chance. Like, you put him in like, he was the wide receiver 3 on the team with Chase and Jefferson, and still, like, in college, and still, produced. I think, with the right staff and the right opportunities, I think he can still be a good player. It's just going to have to be somewhere else, obviously, right now.
This gives me the vibes of Old Man River Walk. Adam Thielen is not going anywhere.
Right.
He is playing. I don't know. He must got a heavy cap hit to let go, and I guess he's still good for football. But they're cutting. What did they draft Marshall in the 2nd round last year?
It was 2nd or 3rd, but
yeah, and they just cut bait. I don't know. Hopefully, the young man finds another opportunity somewhere else. It's just maybe it's too many bodies there. I don't know who's doing that, but
maybe the Bills pick him up. Who knows?
Yeah. A lot of people are going to move places too.
Yeah.
Who else you got, Jamie?
Noah Brown. He got let go. I know that was a crowded room over on the Texans, but he did really well last year when he was called upon. I believe he had like multiple 150-yard games. So in a pinch, like if they get injuries, like they're going to miss Noah Brown.
Well, maybe they might actually give John Mechie and Xavier Hutchinson opportunities. So, they don't really need Noah Brown when you have guys who you use draft capital on that just never got a chance. And I think they can probably, I don't know about the 150 yards, but, give them an opportunity. I think, they want to see what they have in those guys. So, giving Noah Brown another opportunity elsewhere, maybe.
We got one more. The 2-time Super Bowl champions just released Kadarius Toney. Did you see him going anywhere, or is he just done? He was a former first-round pick. He's only 25 years old.
I don't have a specific team, but anytime first-round picks who don't work out, they get opportunity after opportunity until they can't anymore. So anybody who has the raw talent, they're going to get another opportunity. So I think he'll get a chance somewhere else.
I think Pittsburgh can use him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need any type of talent they can get. The Chiefs cut Deneric Prince, and I thought that was
and the rugby player.
Yep, Louis Ramit, whatever his name was. But yeah, they cut both of them, so that was surprises as well. I thought he went from getting the second team reps to cut. So here we are.
Yeah, I'm just gonna miss the Mahomes, Kadarius Toney memes.
Yeah, a little bit, but some of this is pander. No, that's the wrong word. They're setting up to put some of these players on their taxi if no other team picks them up.
Yeah.
So we might have the ghost of Deneric Prince
on a practice squad.
On a practice squad. Yeah. Like Chris Brooks, I hope he lands on somewhere with an opportunity He been got cut from the Dolphins, I think.
Yeah, it just wasn't going to be in Miami. You know?
Yeah, it wasn't going to be in Miami, but I want to see that guy play.
Yeah, that's it. So if we want, we can get into our bold predictions, and hopefully Mike pops in soon.
All right, we're pulling up with the cheats of the week. Bold predictions. Jamie, you leading us off.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with the bold take, but I'm gonna go even crazier. So my bold take is Kenneth Walker. Right now, he's being drafted as the 17th running back off the board. I'm gonna say my bold prediction is he becomes a top 10 running back this season. But my crazy take is he's gonna finish in the top 5.
Whoa! Show me a path to top 5.
So last year he was getting 55% of the snaps, right? Sharp was getting about 45. So Sharp's not looking good right now. He's struggling. I could see that 55% jump up to at least like 65, between 65, 70. But he's also going to get a lot more catches. He had like about 2 catches per game last year. I could see that doubling, possibly getting like at least 4 with Ryan Grubb coming in. They're going to air the ball out more. They're just going to lead to more scoring. He had 9 touchdowns last season. I can see that jumping up to maybe 12, 13 with that offense just taking a step forward as a whole. So yeah, more snaps, more scoring, more receptions. I could see a top 10 season. And if you really want to go crazy, call it a top 5.
I have a hard time with the top 5 just because
That's why it's crazy.
right. So top 10. Obviously, are we talking points per game, or are we talking total points?
Throughout the season, if he stays healthy, he could be in the top 10 on the whole season. But points per game, yeah, I mean, if he gets injured, I could see him already being in that top 10 when he gets injured.
Yeah, I like the offense. I think the offense is going to be much better this year. But no matter, now I know this is a different coaching staff, but it feels like for me, Charbonnet is still a talent. They're still going to want to see what they have in him before maybe they do decide to make a decision next offseason on him, or whether that's trade him or whatever. But they're going to give him opportunities as well. Ken Walker is a beast for sure, but I think you just see a lot of teams just want to use 2 running backs a lot, and they have the talented running back duo to do that. So I think just Charbonnet's presence to me kind of caps Walker, even if it is a new coaching staff. I still think that he's going to get his opportunities. But I don't think top 10 is crazy. I do think that's still possible with the efficiency that the offense is expected to have and his touchdown opportunities, potentially rising. I could see it. I'm not banking on it. I still want a piece of Ken Walker, but I could see it.
Yeah, I think top 12 is reasonable. That's not even bold. Top 10 is tight line, because the thing about Seattle's offensive line worries me. I think they might spread the ball out. And Kenneth Walker play style, like he's like one of those batters that's hitting triples and home runs. He don't hit doubles. He don't hit singles. He don't steal bases. He's like a all or nothing play by play kind of back. I don't know if it's vision or that's just his style. So efficiency wise would have to increase a lot to get to top 7 in my opinion. And then it's going to be everything we say in these bold takes is going to depend on health, but just his style of run would have to get more. He would have to clean up a lot. He would have to hit more home runs and more triples and a couple of doubles. Like he has to produce more in a minute. Like catching the ball would help a lot, but he's all or nothing kind of player, and that's volatile. That's not really consistent.
I agree. So mine is going in Mike's neck of the woods with the Chiefs, and it's Rashee Rice. My take is Rashee Rice will outscore Travis Kelce this year. So here's why I feel like, I think that'll probably happen. First, the Chiefs obviously back-to-back champs, going for a three-peat. Kelsey last year was down in the regular season, kind of saved some juice for the postseason where he balled out. He was better than Rice in the postseason, but when I looked at so from week 7 on last year, when Rice started consistently playing over 50% of the snaps, Rice averaged 15 and a half PPR points per game, Kelsey 13. So you anticipate, so that's 2 whole points per game, obviously. You anticipate another year in this offense. Hollywood Brown being injured to start the year, Xavier Worthy being a rookie, Kelsey preserving himself for the chance at the first three-peat, and like Rashee Rice not getting suspended. Like I can see it. I can see it happening pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not doubting it because, I mean, last year, second half of the season, we saw him put up top 10, top 5 even numbers. Even in the playoffs, he was putting up almost 15 points a game. Yeah. I think he had like a 27-point game.
Yeah,
one of his last weeks. But yeah, I definitely see that.
Yeah, and Kelsey, his 13 point per game average counted like a 35-point game in there. So like most of it was 13, 7, 9. He had a couple and I just think they were saving him. He was saving some energy, whatever the case may be, for the playoff run. And I'm only talking about in the regular season. So they're going to rely on those young guys to get them to the playoffs. And then Mahomes goes back to his main man in Kelsey in the playoffs. When it's crunch time. So in the regular season, though, I see Rashee Rice as number 1 pass catcher on the Chiefs this year.
Yeah, no, I'm not completely against it. And the take on Rashee Rice is he scored total more fantasy points than Kelsey. That's what you're saying, right?
He's gonna have either points per game or total. He's gonna have both.
Got you. I can see it because I think we underestimate that injury at the beginning of the year to Kelsey last year. It was like abductor. He was out. What did he miss?
He missed the first game, and then I think he played the second, but he wasn't right.
Right. I think that was a little bit more telling than anything. And Father Time is going to catch up with Kelsey, and you can clearly see during the season they was saving him. But if this just so happens to be he just got a contract extension for 2 more years, maybe he's coming up upon his swan song and he's healthy. I still think you're right. Rashee Rice is probably going to outscore him. But tight end premium, there's that.
Oh well, yeah, but not in those leagues. But
right.
PPR. Let's get an opinion of a true Chiefs fan. We have Drop the Mic FF in the house joining us.
Go.
What is up, Mike? Just in time for the Chiefs take.
All right,
welcome.
All right, I'm going to leave it like that. All right, so I hope you are right. And the only reason I hope you are right, I don't know if you're right or I don't really have an opinion if you're going to be right or wrong, but the reason I hope you're right is if you're right, I think Kelsey's going to have a great year. So if you're right, that means the passing game is on point, and we're going to go for, let's go Rashee Rice. I didn't catch your whole argument, but like I'm sure you brought up the fact that Hollywood Brown's dinged up. You got Worthy's a rookie. I'm glad. I do have to bring one thing up about the Chiefs while I have on Chiefs topic. Thank you, Brett Veach and Andy Reid, for letting go of Kadarius Toney. Thank you. I have to say thank you on behalf of all Kansas City Chiefs fans. No more lining up off sides. To get back on topic, I do love Rice. I do think he's going to have a good year. I'm not as bullish on him as you and some others, but if that is, I mean, I just was able to get on the show. This is the bold prediction show, and I'll tell you this right now. That ain't the boldest thing you're going to hear out of one of us. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I do think the Chiefs' offense is going to be electrifying this year, and I think it's going to be Worthy over the top, Rasheed Rice and Kelsey intermediate, Pacheco bulldozing people. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So are we on you, Reggie?
Yeah. We coming up with some bold takes. Welcome to Mike FF. Drop the mic. Welcome back.
All right. So Reggie, you were up with the quarterback. Take it away, my man.
Jared Goff will finish in the MVP race this year. They just got a hold of Tim Patrick, another weapon to add to Jameson Williams, Armand St. Brown. We got Sam Laporta, David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs. Like the list is just going. They play a lot of favorable games indoors, and the orchestrator Jared Goff is going to finish as a top 12 quarterback for fantasy, but will be in the MVP race when it comes down to it.
Yeah,
Jamie.
I agree, Matt. I gotta.
Jordan, yeah.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
No, go, Jordan. Go. We'll go that way.
I agree. I got a take that's kind of related to that later on in this show. But yeah, I definitely, with all the dome games that they have, that's Golf's bread and butter there. So I think it's like 14, Jamie, or something like that.
Yeah, I heard 14.
It's 14. It's 14 out of 17.
Right, in a dome. So yeah, they were a top seed last year. I anticipate them, being a little better this year, and he'll have his opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, last year, Golf quarterback 7 on the year, right? So I could see that repeating. But can he be higher than 7? I'm not going to say no. So I like that take.
So I think I know where you're going with that other take, Jordan. So I'm not going to go too much into it. So you give you your praise later. But the one thing I was going to bring up when I saw this on the show sheet, because I happened to see it in something else in my research for another thing, was the 14 out of 17 being in a dome. That's big for him. That's big for this offense. I think they could be. I mean, they already proved that they were last year, like a great offense. They could be the next greatest. I know Jordan and Jamie, or I know Jordan's a little bit younger. Reggie, I know you'll remember these days. They could be that next team that they're going to call the greatest show on turf. Like the day was Kurt Warner, and like, not saying they're that good, but just saying like the speed and everything of them. They're going to have that kind of style of game. So for my first one, it's another quarterback situation. What's up, Kyle? And I know this is bold. Reggie, you weren't on here last year. These two on this other side of the screen both know that some of mine are bold. Jamie, I think, already knows where I'm going with this one because of an article I wrote. So I got to stick with my guns, Jamie. When I say bold, I don't know if this is going to happen, but my bold take of the year, Anthony Richardson, QB1 overall.
I kind of agree with you.
Yes, it's a short sample size, but it's a rushing quarterback. Rushing quarterbacks have finished good lately overall. When Mahomes won the MVP in breakout year in 2018, it was his second year in the season, second year in the league, even with the one start the year before in his rookie season. When Lamar had his breakout year, it was his second year in the league. Jalen had a breakout in his third year. All I'm saying is it's that second, third year breakout that I'm looking for with Anthony Richardson. If everything pans out, I think he's going to have good rushing numbers. I think, I'm counting on Adonai Mitchell showing out. I know what's his name just got injured, the tight end, Jamie. I know who's your boy.
Jelani Woods, yeah.
Jelani Woods is out now. Hopefully Josh Downs comes back. As long as Jonathan Taylor can stay healthy and Anthony Richardson can play a minimum of 14 or 15 games, my bold take is AR-15, QB1 overall. Jamie, what do you think?
Oh, I'm 100% with you. I've even said this multiple times that I think he could be the overall number one. So I have no issues with that.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jordan.
Could be, yes. I believe it's possible, but they have two guys who I don't think is giving up that number one spot easily. Is Josh Allen and Mahomes. So I think it's going to be hard for him to outduel them. And it's just the rushing is great. I love the rushing. He's reckless. He's reckless while he's running, and the preseason, the second half or the second drive of that last preseason game he played, it was scary.
I know.
And Jonathan
Man.
Taylor wasn't on the field, so I get that miscommunications with some receivers. All his weapons not there. I understand that. So I do think there is a path, but man, he scares me a little bit. Just all around. This game in general scares me.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with the scary part. Reggie, anything you want to add?
Sure. I think it is well in the range of outcomes that he finishes QB1. And all he would have to do in my mind is play every single game. That's the only thing that he would need to do to make that happen. He doesn't have to be a lights out quarterback from a throwing aspect to be the number one QB in fantasy. He just needs to stay healthy. We've seen it in a very small sample size. So this ain't. I thought you would go be bold. This ain't bold. This is playing it safe. Like I'm gonna need you later on in the podcast to step across the line. I'm gonna mark the line right here. I'm gonna need you
right now. The reason that one says spicy division take is because I didn't want to put what division and I didn't want to put what team. I'm saying that.
It was a bit. I was just giving you.
No. I know. Trust me. On this show, on tonight's show, it's bold.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it if he's healthy, easily if he's healthy. Because you said Josh Allen. Josh Allen got to put him on the glass. He got to show us he can do it without Stephon Diggs.
For
real.
Crap. And the Josh Allen.
You're good.
Okay, cool.
In the Josh Allen realm of it, I mean, if we worried about ARs rushing and how that's going to help him, Josh Allen going to be all by himself. So, I think he'll have
like
that. All right. So, Jamie, remember when you messaged me and you said, do you want me to put the take? When I said, don't put the take, I wanted to just know the player that I can cue you in. I almost re-messaged you and said, can I know the take for this one and this one only? So I have a feeling that I'm going to want to give you a big hug.
This
go ahead and give me your bull take.
So Mr. Deontay Johnson on the Panthers, he is going to lead the league in targets.
Yes.
And will be an every week starter, putting up top 12 weeks consistently all year. And in 2025, we're going to be drafting him in the third or fourth round of drafts next year. I know it's Bull saying he's going to lead the league in targets, but like he's going to be the first read in that offense. Like he's going to be a PPR monster. I think he's going to have a career high in touchdowns, maybe top 10. Who knows? Touchdowns are so fluky, but I can see at least 100 catches, which will put him in like the top 10 in receptions. But I can maybe see like even more, 120, which that'll put him reception wise. Well, I think Lamb led last year. I think the second guy was Hill, but he only had like 117, something like that. So. So Deontay, leads the league in targets and top 10 in receptions.
Okay, I'm going to give my quick take about this real quick and then let the other two go. This is definitely bold. I love Deontay. You know I'm all up on him. I don't know if he's going to lead the league, but I love the fact that you're putting the gusto out there that he's going to have that many targets. The reason I want to go real quick, is I need to throw it to the guy who's about to fall asleep down in the bottom right because you look like you peed in his Cheerios. Jordan, go.
I'm tired of hearing about Deontay Johnson and how many targets he's gonna get. You know, this dude had 169 targets from Big Ben and barely had 1,000 yards. And we are not even sure what we're going to get from Bryce Young. And we're like, all targets not created equal. So, yes, he can have a large number of targets. How many of them going to be catchable? How many of them he going to be able to do something with? I don't believe in, and I know we expect the offense to be better than it was. Yeah, that's not saying much because they were really bad last year. They have a new coach. They have a bunch of weapons who we just talked about. They cut Terrace Marshall because they got 4 other guys that they believe in. So Bryce is gone. He already developed that relationship with Adam Thielen, who ain't going nowhere. He's still there. They got Mingo. They got Leggett, whatever. They have them guys. And we don't know how good Bryce is. And I don't know how good Deontay Johnson is. He dropped the ball all the time. I am just not a fan, as y'all can tell, of Deontay. And I'm not yes, he's going to get a lot of targets. Will he lead the league? I don't think so because I don't know how much Bryce is going to be asked to throw. I don't know how much he's going to spread to the other guys. So I hope this ain't true because I'm not drafting much of Deontay.
So, Reggie, real quick, without giving too much of your next one, because we will go there in a little bit, what do you think about Deontay?
I think he's going to do extremely well. I think he's going to earn targets. The amount when Jamie said lead the league in targets, my mind went back to Michael Thomas in that amazing year. Didn't he have 145? I think catches. He had more targets than 145. So my brain you broke me, Jamie. Okay. Thank you for that. But I think that I don't know if they're going to pass the ball enough to get him to lead the league in targets, but I'm here for it. I got a lot of stocks in Deontay. He's only 27 and he's earned targets next to the likes of George Pickens, which I hope isn't on here anywhere. Okay, I'm still saying, mark myself safe on the show sheet. I like this a lot, and I hope it does come to fruition, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. Why?
Yeah. Okay, so Jordan, Jamie made me happy when I saw Deontay Johnson on the thing. You also made me happy by putting a player on the show sheet because I was honestly considering it before I saw you had put it on there. So go ahead. I'm wondering if you have the same opinion that I have. Go ahead with your next one.
So for the first time in his career, Terry McLaurin will finish as a top 12 receiver. He has had 1,000 yards in every season of his career so far, except his rookie year where he had 900. His best finish was wide receiver 20 in 2020. He had 1,100 yards, 4 TDs on 134 targets. Just looking at his quarterbacks that he's had, Sam Howell, Wentz, Taylor Heineke, Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace, Alex Smith, and the legend Jacoby Brissett. That's just a few.
Really, Jordan?
And now he's going to get that MT target number is crazy in 2019. But
holy smokes,
he had his best. He's gonna have his best quarterback, I believe, ever. Jahan Dotson got shipped out to Philly, so there's not a whole lot of competition at all for targets. I see him getting that DeAndre Hopkins role in the Cliff Kingsbury offense, where they're funneling targets through him. With Daniels, the opportunity, I think the most TDs he's had is 7. I can see him getting 8, 9. The high, in this offense with all these opportunities. Wide receiver 12 last year averaged 16.5 points per game. I think that was Debo. He can get to that. Now, obviously, year to year is different. But if he can get to that 16, 17-point range, is definitely top 12. And I don't see why he can't. with a much improved quarterback, much improved offense, no competition for targets, is screaming for him to ball because he's a talent.
Absolutely. Go, Reggie, you start.
I wish I had more of them. I don't think a single share. I would have to look that up, but I think that is a fact. The fact that that RPO in that offense is going to be lethal because that offensive line is not, and they're going to need to have some supreme timing, and I think Terry McLaurin is the perfect wide receiver to have for a quarterback of Jordan Daniels' stature. I think they're going to marry well together in his offense. They're going to need to, and yeah, I agree with you, Jordan. It's his time. He is him this year. He's going to show us all, especially like think of more like last year we got teased a very C movie grade or D movie with lists, whatever. Remember Gardner Minshew and Michael Pittman, like kind of just upgrade that like with some Chris Brown right there and take it up a notch with Daniels and McLaurin.
I should have been bolder and said top 8 then. Damn. All right.
Yeah, you think about that though. That RPO is one read, right? Or I'm running. Like, and he's gonna with timing and that skill set together, I think they're gonna work well together. I agree.
Jamie, what do you think, real quick?
I mean, we all know what I think. I think I brought up McLaurin like a month or so ago, before Dotson was even cut, and I said he was going to be a top 15 receiver. Now with Dotson gone, I could definitely see 12, and yeah, I'll even go as far as say top 8.
We're gonna get the Devontae Adams treatment.
I don't know about top 8. That's pretty freaking high. I mean, it's bold, but I am 100. That's what you brought up, Jordan. I was going to say he's going to be a WR1 this year, so we're right on. We're right on track. I love Terry McLaurin. I got sniped last night. I had a home league last night. Got sniped last night. Did not get sniped on Sunday night in my draft. I just wasn't able to get him. I won't call it a snipe because it was way too far ahead of me to get the snipe. It was just not going to happen. But Terry McLaurin to the moon, this offense to the moon. And the reason I wanted to go last real quick on this one, because I put it on the show sheet, so I'm going to do it. Another player that is going to ball out on this team, a top 16 running back performance for Brian Robinson Jr., baby. Let's go!
Top 16. I love that because I was saying top 20, 24. So I'll take 16 all day.
16 to 20, and I'll be ecstatic.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I got a lot of shares in him.
Yep.
Me too.
All
I'm
right,
hoping for an
Reggie.
Alfred Morris type of season out of him.
I'm done with Eckler. Okay, Reggie.
Yeah. Yes, we're gonna roll right into this
Roll
one. And
right
Kyle,
into this quarterback.
thank you so much for throwing that Michael Thomas stat. And I said like he had 145, and I said his targets was like 165. I'm getting old, but pulling that out. Thank you so much for putting crazy. I told Jamie he broke my brain. Yeah, it's already broken. But the next one that I want to give some love to is Bryce Young of the Carolina Panthers scores more fantasy points than any other rookie quarterback this year.
Ooh. Wow, that's gonna be tough.
So
I'm just gonna go the opposite direction. Go, Jordan.
Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams.
Drake May.
I don't see it. I can see Drake May. I can see Bo Nix, but you said yourself earlier you don't know how much they're going to throw the ball. What's the path? Tell me the path. I need to know the path.
Well, I just look at historically. Caleb looks lovely, looks great. I don't think he'll be close. He'll be the one I'm most worried about. But that offensive line and just being possibly Jaden Daniels, possibly getting like being deer in the headlights, missing a couple of games. But I think Caleb is going to have his woes too. It's going to be an up and down season. They don't play in a dome, do they? Like there's going to be adversity with a 230-pound Keenan Allen. Like CJ Stroud just don't fall out of trees. Justin Herbert's just don't fall out of trees. So I think that Bryce Young should, with a better offensive line and more weapons at his disposal. I haven't heard much around. I ain't seen nothing in has he played? Wait a minute. Anyway, but I think he should have a jump going into his second seasons to show us why he was drafted number one overall. He's probably matured. Hopefully the game will slow down for him. Even though Caleb looks good, Caleb's the only one I'm worried about.
So here's the problem with Bryce, though. The one thing that hasn't changed from last year is he hasn't grown.
I knew that was coming.
So
in my defense, the Chicago Bears, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kyle, has never had a 4,000-yard pass.
Never had a 4,000.
Never had it.
Never have.
Bryce won't reach 6 foot tall. So it's just hard, man, because I think Daniels will probably be deer in headlights at times, but the rushing ability, because he's going to have to run for his life at times with the offensive line, that may turn into some Justin Fields type of plays every once in a while. So, those kind of I like the take, though, because I'm hoping Bryce is better. I don't have a lot of shares on him, but I just like him as a player. So I'm hoping he has a much better season, even though I hope his success isn't hinged on Deontay Johnson, because if it is, then I'm going to have to hear it from these guys. But, I hope he plays well.
You're going to have to hear it from all of us if they do. I mean, it's going to be the opposite of the Jacoby Brissett effect.
Well, yeah,
Jamie, do you have anything quick? Do you have anything short?
I mean, I can see him taking a step forward. I just don't see him outscoring Jaden Daniels, because I had a hot take that Daniels is going to be Rookie of the Year. And I also think he can get close to Anthony Richardson numbers. And if Richardson's going to be number one, it's going to be hard for Bryce Young to get up there. So I do see him taking a step forward, maybe like top 15, but I just see Daniels beating him.
All right. So for my next one, I'm going to move it up on the show sheet, which is fine. Mr. Saquads himself, Saquon Barkley, going from the New York Giants to the Philadelphia Eagles is a godsend. Jason Kelce retiring is going to be a detriment to this offense in one way, and that is the fact that they are not going to – I still do not think that the tush-push goal line play is going to be as successful for Jalen Hurts. Barkley's going to get – they're still going to run Hurts in the goal line, but Barkley's going to get some of those goal line carries and some of those touchdowns. Saquon Barkley, top 3 running back.
Ooh.
Well, I have, so I have a take later that was including Saquon in it. So that's going to be funny.
Did I miss that?
I didn't put it. No, it's just it has to do with another running back. But
that's fine. Hey, we can contradict in this building. We don't give a rat's rear end. What we do? So, Jamie, what do you think about Saquon?
He's going to need to see a lot of receptions, because we've seen it in the past. I think Jonathan Taylor was the only one that didn't get receptions, ending up that high. I just don't see Hurts throwing the ball to him as much. So top 3 is going to be tough. But I could definitely see top 5, top 6.
Yeah, similar to what Jamie's saying, I just think it'll be tough when you think about Hurts. It's all hinged on Hurts and his tendencies, and it's not really his tendency to throw it. And Hurts is still going to, like you said, get those goal line touches. I don't know if it'll be the tush push where it's automatic, but we'll see.
Reggie.
You know what, Mike? How dare you? How dare you say Saquon Barkley is going to be RB3, top 3, when they just traded for the best wide receiver 3 of all time, Johan Dotson? How could that happen? I'm jonesing. Can we erase that last 15 seconds? No. I think there's no excuses for Saquon. He is playing behind one of the better offensive lines in the NFL. So are we going to see all that dancing around, getting upfield and scoring touchdown long rushes? Then yeah, it could happen. I'm pretty sure he wants to prove to the world that he is still that same person we've seen back in his rookie season.
Okay. Jamie, you were up, but before you go, I am scared about what you're about to say.
Yeah. This is a crazy take. It's
God.
not just bold. It's
This
crazy.
might be more than bold.
So I'm gonna talk about Mr. Daniel Jones, and I think he's gonna make us regret fading him in drafts, and he's gonna finish as a top 15 quarterback. Now, hear me out. He's got to stay healthy, right? That's one problem. But in his rookie year, he was top 15. He had a sophomore slump, but the following year he was QB 17. Then I believe he was putting up QB 10 numbers in 2022. Last year, I think he only played 6 games, but in those games he had a 77.5% catchable pass rating, which is top 8 in the league. Now he has a reliable target, an elite talent neighbor. So I think that can improve. He's got that rushing ability, 6.7 carries per game, which was QB 6 numbers last year when he played. He was 4th in rushing yards per game. He was like top 10 in red zone carries and for quarterbacks. So you think with Barkley leaving, he can get more carries at the goal line. I mean, if you look at his history, he had like a 31-point game last season, which was QB1 on the week. So you're going to have a lot of ups and downs. You're going to have a lot of QB 5, 6 weeks. Then you're going to have QB 20, 30 weeks, but it's going to average out. And I think he ends as QB 15.
Jordan, will you talk some sense into your buddy?
Tell me why I'm wrong, because this one does scare me. I wanted to go bold, though.
No, I'd rather you go bold than safe.
In the last 4 seasons, Daniel Jones has thrown 38 touchdowns. 4 seasons. Now, he only played 6 games last year, but he threw 2 touchdowns in 6 games. Malik Neighbors is a great receiver, but he's not Jesus Christ. Like, I don't know if he can fix this, man. Like, I'm just not like him staying healthy is going to be a big problem in itself. And like he showed us, he's in rare form in preseason. He threw an interception, like a stupid interception. Like, that's just not changing. I want to believe in him. I've taken him in some drafts like late as like a 4th QB in a 2 QB league or whatever because of his rushing ability. In the hope that Neighbors could save the offense. But it's like they don't have much else going on at all for him. I mean, so I don't know, man. I think his top 15 is not, nothing crazy for a guy who can run the ball like he can. But I just have a hard time seeing it with the play he's had. and then just the Giants overall, the talent. Devin Singletary is a decent running back, but I mean, Daniel Jones sucked with Saquon, so I don't know how Singletary is going to save him. But Neighbors makes him better. But yeah, that's a scary one to have. That's a scary take to have.
Reggie, do you have anything short to say? Because I don't.
Yeah, I was going to say I had to put my glasses on to make sure I heard Jamie right. Yeah, repeat that twice. And then if we were I should have grabbed my bong and we were just taking rips because Daniel Jones did not look healthy right now. Like, there was those balls that it's barely making it to target. He can't put no zip on it. And you just mentioned how many touchdowns he's thrown in the last 4 years. Can you have in front of you how many times he's fumbled? There's a ball security issue before the injury. One year, I want to say he led the league in fumbles.
Yes,
he did.
So I don't think the Giants, the quarterback that will snap the ball the most for the Giants this year is not on their roster because Locke had that freak kidney laceration dang near in week 1 of the preseason. It was a weird freak back something happened to him. I think let's just call it right now. I'm going to add on to your bold take. Tyler Huntley is going to the Giants.
Or Thompson Robinson.
40,
trade him.
46 fumbles, 24 fumbles lost in his entire career.
Jeez.
All right. I don't have anything to say. So, Jordan, now I think after looking at the show sheet again, I think I know where you were going. So, is this the guy? Is this where you were going? When you told me about Barkley?
Yeah, well, yes.
Yeah, okay. Now I want to set it up. All right. So Reggie has the flag in the background. Jordan wants to talk about the running back from this team, and I am excited to hear what he said because I drafted him last night. Go ahead, Jordan.
Devon Achane will outscore Jonathan Taylor and Saquon this year and be a top 5 back. I mean, it's not really like so. He did that last year, but it was on a lot of fluke plays, people would say, a lot of long touchdown runs. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor and Barkley, much higher draft capital you have to spend. They're both kind of in new situations. Taylor isn't coming off of an ankle surgery, and Richardson is there ready to go. Saquon is in Philly, much better offense, much better situation. But I still think Achane is going to outscore both of those guys just because in the preseason he's been running like I think 37% of his routes from the slot and outside. It's lower than last year, but I think he's going to have added volume. No Jeff Wilson breathing down his neck, I don't believe, because he was a rookie last year. He has the opportunities now. He's not dealing with the knick-knack injuries that he had. He's going to be the starter, I think. Mostert may start, but, I think he's going to get more work than Mostert. He's more explosive than Mostert at this point in their careers. So him getting that extra usage, being lined up in a slot, lined up out wide, the touchdown opportunities is going to be there. He doesn't have a quarterback who's going to steal goal line touchdowns from him like Saquon and Anthony Richardson possibly. I think with his big playability, obviously, like Reggie mentioned, health is gonna be the deciding factor in all these takes. But I think Achane is gonna outscore both of those guys, and you're paying much less for them than those two.
Reggie,
I love it. You pay. You know how you asked me to. I don't even have much to say. Paint a path the Bryce Young take. You just painted a nice one. And I think because they don't have the best offensive line, how you slow the offensive line, I mean, the defensive rush down is screens. And I think that can be Achane's bread and butter.
The Dolphins are deadly on those screens. So,
Jamie.
I'm not going to doubt any Mike McDaniel's player in the top 5 of anything, man. Like even when he gets 45% of the snaps, he's still putting up top numbers. So I just like how efficient he is. Mostert's getting older. Like I can see it, and I actually regret passing over him in a lot of drafts.
But I felt like earlier on in the offseason, he was too much. It was too high though for a lot of people. Like I do a lot of leagues on ESPN. He was like a second round pick. I didn't want to take him that high, but now he's kind of slid to like the 4th. I can rock with that. So, I think it was all about price.
Absolutely. Speaking of price, and speaking of one of Reggie's earlier ones, this is parallel to it. I'm going to preface by, I want to give a little bit about my draft last night, and this will set up what you're talking about, Reggie. I got this player that Reggie wants to talk about in the draft. It was a 10-team. I had the 101. I drafted CMC at 101. I got this player, Reggie, at 4-0, at 1, 2, 3. I got him at 412. I'm shocked I got him at 412. He was not the number 1 in his position like he's ADP. But why is this player not finishing as number 1? And what is your bold take on this player?
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. I've had that happen in my last 3 drafts. Make sure they are not in here. Yeah. Kincaid and somebody else, McBride, has been going before him. And I'm like, what's going on here? But I don't think because of being propped up by so many touchdowns last year, Laporta is going to finish top 3. I think it's going to be some combination of, and I think I can say it because they're not on the list here, Kincaid, McBride, and somebody else top 3. So that might explain as we get closer to the season. Like, have you guys noticed all projections dropped by 2 points since last night? I'm like looking at my teams like, whoa, I dropped in projections. Like Jermaine Burton was projected for like 7 points week 1. Now he's down to 2. And it happened across the board for a lot of players once their roles were determined. I think that Jared Goff will be MVP because he will orchestrate between St. Brown, Laporta. They can have a balanced attack with Jameson Williams. I think he's going to have a huge year if they utilize him correctly as more of just a deep threat. So it's wheels up for that whole offense playing indoors, having a stellar season. I just don't think he will lead. He will be a top 3 tight end.
Jordan.
Yeah, I think that's possible. I think it's going to be, like you said, some combination of McBride. I think McBride for sure, Mark Andrews even, and Kelsey possibly as well. So yeah, I don't see that out of the range of possibilities. I do think it's similar to how I feel about the Panthers. Like, they have a bunch of mouths to feed. He's going to feed them. Jameson Williams on in a dome on turf with that speed, dangerous. St. Brown doing what he's doing all the time. Like, yeah, I can see him not fit. But if he doesn't finish in the top 3, it'll be top 5.
Yeah. But what if I told you Dr. Kincaid outperformed him the last 7 weeks of the season, like toe for toe, just without the touchdowns? It happened. So it's just the touchdowns. I just don't see that happening for him and players like Jordan Reed. I don't think they're getting that many touchdowns. They're not a static stat.
Yeah. Plus, they're going to use a little more in the passing game in the slot, so that could take some away from him. Montgomery can get his touchdowns, so that could take away from the red zone. So yeah, no, I think there's a huge regression coming from
Tim Patrick.
All right, so I agree with you. I do think there is a chance. I mean, I want him to finish in the top 3. I mean, I just drafted him as the tight end 4 in my league last night. Mark Andrews, Kelsey, and McBride went ahead of him in my home. I mean, it was a home league, so those idiots are dumb anyway. But they're not watching.
That's why they're dumb, because they're not watching the fantasy cheat sheet predictions.
So for my next one, I went back and forth on what to say because one of my bold predictions, I didn't want to talk about the Detroit Lions the entire show. So I took that out of my brain because when I realized, I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Then I had another one and I'm like, no. And like Jamie said to me privately a couple of days ago, no, he had a bunch and I was just trying to think of different ones. So I'm going bold on this one. I don't know if this is bold enough for Reggie. I know my last take will be bold enough for Reggie, but I don't know if this one will. This is a trio. It's about one team, and I'm going bold. Last year, we talked so much crap about this team because their head coach was inept and couldn't call plays. So I'm giving it a trio of predictions here. Bijan and Kyle Pitts finish as a top 5, and London finishes as a top 10.
I love it. I'm in.
Yeah.
I mean, is that bold? Because Bijan is going in the top 3.
But I'm saying they're going to.
You got to finish it though.
Yeah.
They have to finish it, and with Bijan is the one. Bijan's the one I'm most confident. Are you confident that Pitts and London can finish top 5 and top 10? All 3 have to happen for my take to go. Like, all 3 have to happen for my take to come true.
I like it then. I think it could actually happen.
I got a lot of shares. I got a lot of shares of all of them, so I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
The key to this locomotive that we're all on, we need this in our DNA, is Kirk Cousins.
Okay, so here's a question. Since we're all kind of on the same panel, on the same kind of train, let's go around the horn real quick. If all three do happen, where does Kirk Cousins finish?
Top 12. I say like 11, 12. Because he doesn't run at all. So
Yeah, he don't run.
So like
Jamie
he could
runs. I saw Jamie running in Canton, Ohio more than he does.
like he could throw for like 30, 32 touchdowns and still be like 11 or 12.
Yeah, I agree. Top 12.
I would say if all those happen, he's finishing where Goff did last year.
QB7.
Let's say 8.
All right. So we are at that point. We're just 1 hour and 10 minutes in, but it's the bowl prediction show, so we're gonna keep on rolling. Jamie.
Oh yeah. So this one.
Yeah, hold on. You ready for your job?
Oh yeah. Let's do it. Right here.
Today's show is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Check out their industry-leading best ball leagues with huge tournaments, private leagues, and pick'ems for every major sport. If you keep drafting, you'll probably still draft with Jamie. Sign up with our promo code GF2, and you'll get up to $250 in Underdog bonus cash. It's as simple as that. Sign up, use the promo code GF2. You can start drafting your best ball teams now. And what I'm doing, I kind of stopped best ball just because I'm not as into it as Jamie. But I'll tell you this. The reason is I am waiting for those higher and lowers so I can bet during the regular season. So watch out for those as well. So, Jamie, I do not remember what your next one is, but take it away.
Okay. So, Mr. Derrick Henry, now on the Ravens, he's going to lead all running backs and touchdowns with – my hot take is 17, but my crazy take is he's going to hit 20 touchdowns. I mean, like last year he had 12 touchdowns on a bad offense, right? And then what's his name? Edwards. He had like 13. Henry's a way, way better running back than that. So I could see him crushing that. I'm pretty sure like last year there was only 15 goal line carries for Edwards. I could also see that going up for Henry. So yeah. So did you guys actually think that'll happen? Like last year he was only getting about 55% of the snaps, sharing with Spears, right? This year I could actually see him getting like 65, 70%, like full workhorse load opportunities. Like, so he's going to get all the goal line. Well, he's going to share with Lamar, obviously. But yeah, I don't think 17 to 20 is out of the range.
I don't think so either, but you got to remember he's going to be sharing with Justice Hill, that that stud of a backup running back. No, I'm joking. I do think that's definitely possible. And now that has me wondering. Like, I haven't been taking much of Derrick Henry at all, especially where he's been going. Like, should I be? Are you guys taking a lot of Henry?
I've been taking a lot of Henry. Like, I have him at RB 4 or 5 right now in the rankings, but I've been getting him like way later than that.
Like like I said, I do a lot of ESPN drafts. He's like a second round pick, and it's like in the range of Pacheco, Kyron, and Chris Olave, and like Marvin Harrison type range. So I'm always going with receiver at that point, but maybe I should start thinking about Derrick Henry.
Most of my shares came when I was getting them in the third round every draft. But yeah, I have seen them go second round, but I even took them in the second round a couple times.
What about you, Reg?
I think that's definitely something that can happen easily. I think that offense can be. It's all going to matter if they're trying to do with the Kelsey thing and save him for a playoff run, or just really like run him into the ground. They're going to have a lot of scoring opportunities. And then there's the Justice Hill factor. And then let's not forget the young man who's coming back out probably around week 8, week 9, Keaton Mitchell. I think the 1-2 punch of them both together will be unguardable. Just the change of those two paces and the different styles of their game. The Ravens are him. So yes, I like this.
And then they got the lack of receiving weapons. I mean, they're going to have to run the ball a lot.
So, Jamie, how many touchdowns do you think he's going to get?
My hot take is 17. My crazy take is 20.
Okay. I think your crazy take is crazy. And the reason I think it's absolutely crazy isn't because of Derrick Henry. It's because of freaking Lamar Jackson. I don't think Lamar Jackson, as the type of athlete that he is going to allow Derrick Henry to get 20. I think 17 is even crazy, but I think it's doable. So, Jordan, me and you both have team-related takes for our last two. I was hoping that a couple of us would. You knew I was going to come up with one crazy one because one time it worked out, one time it didn't. So, Jordan, take it away.
I'm looking at the landscape of the NFC. So let's just take a brief geography tour around the NFC. We go to Dallas. CD finally gets paid. Dak is in a contract situation. They got Zeke as the starting running back. A lot of turmoil, whatever. They got blasted by Green Bay in the playoffs. That was the last time we saw Dallas on the field. So I'm not really worried about them. San Francisco, Debo is there. Trent Williams holding out. Ayuk is wanting to trade. Brock Purdy's throwing a bunch of interceptions in practice. He's hollering at Debo and all these other things. So they got a mess going on. The Eagles, they just started losing a bunch of games at the end of last year, got smacked around in the playoffs the last time we saw them. They didn't play any of their starters in the preseason, so we don't know what they're going to look like. They're going to start off shaky. Aaron Donald retired for the Rams. So I say all that to say, when it's all said and done, an NFC Championship game, there are going to be both teams from the NFC North, the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions in the NFC Championship game. These two teams could have happened last year, honestly, if the Packers wouldn't have gave away the game to the 49ers. It happened earlier than I anticipated. But that's the matchup. All these NFC teams are going through a bunch of situations. I don't see them fixing those situations in enough time because it's all about having home field advantage. You know, the Lions, everything's intact, everything's together, no issues. You don't have anybody griping with the organization. They play in a dome. They're going to be winning a bunch of games. All those games in domes, they're going to win a lot of games. May have a bye, may have to go through Detroit. So, and if that's the case, I believe they're going to be in the NFC Championship game. Now, it's all about Green Bay taking care of business, and I think they can do that. Young squad, learn from last year's mistake, learns from last year's mistakes, and I think those two NFC North Championship game just in January.
Reggie,
I like it. No dispute out of me. I think we're not giving Love enough credit with all the weapons in the offense that he has at his disposal. So, yep. I think that's been the theme. The other team all show.
Jamie.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% here for it. Just as a little bonus, I thought that it was going to be either the Packers versus the Jets, and the Jets were going to lose to the Super Bowl, or it was going to be the Lions versus the Bengals, and the Lions would win the Super Bowl. So I'm with you.
All right, so let's go to my hot take. Jamie almost ruined it, but he didn't. Thank God.
Ooh, I'm safe. I'm safe.
I tried to ruin it.
You started saying teams' names, and I was like, "Don't do this to me, dude." But then
Can I add on to Jamie's Derrick Henry 20 touchdowns just before you go?
Yeah.
Read option. You're the linebacker DN, and you have a choice of who you keying on. Are you keying on Derek 240-pound Henry or Lamar Jackson?
Keying on that quarterback that I can knock out of the game,
Okay, that's all I wanted to add.
and he's lost weight.
Right. And I don't want to tackle. No, I'm going after this guy.
All right.
Yeah, go with the spice.
So-
bring it, Drew. Come on, bring it.
Since I'm going right now, and Reggie's let me have a little more airtime, I'm gonna set it up like Jordan did. I'm gonna go landscape a little bit here in the AFC, but I'm not landscaping the whole AFC. I'm landscaping a certain division. So, give the rundown on the 4 teams in this division. One team has a new coach, a rookie quarterback, no wide receivers. 2 of them are rookies. They got one of Jamie's favorite veteran tight ends that he drafts in every goddamn best ball league that Jamie's in. And they got a running back who is a bowling ball, and then they have a receiving back that was in Washington. That's the New England Patriots. Then there's a team with speed, and then a quarterback who has concussion problems. Oh, wait, that's the Miami Dolphins. Then you got a team with a gimpy wide receiver, a young wide receiver who hasn't had any quarterbacks that have thrown him the ball yet, except a guy who went to BYU, and that didn't go very well. A running back who's really good if he can stay healthy and had to stay healthy last year. And then a quarterback who only played 4 plays last year and is on the ayahuasca 24/7. And that's the New York Jets. And then you have the team in upstate New York who's got Khalil Shakir, Curtis Samuel, a rookie wide receiver that I don't trust, no Stephon Diggs. They got a running back that I don't trust in James Cook. Jordan doesn't like me saying that. I almost used Ray Davis as one of my bold takes, Jordan.
Oh, dang, man.
I almost used Ray Davis. And then they got Josh Allen, the stud quarterback, but like Reggie said earlier, he brought up the fact that they don't have Stephon Diggs. They lost Tre'Davious White on defense. Milano's hurt. McDermott is a defensive genius. We all know that for the Jets, it's what? It's when, like, Jamie, when you brought the Jets, I'm like, where are you going with this? Don't ruin my take with the Jets. But for the Jets, it is win the big one for Aaron Rodgers or bust. They have the defense to do it. I'm not saying they have the team to do it, but they have a stud defense. You got Aaron Rodgers. Okay. So to go to the rest of the league real quick, you got 4 teams in that division. You got 3 teams in that division that can make the playoffs. Could make the playoffs. But in Jamie's division, you got Cincinnati that could make the playoffs. Well, all 4 teams were over 500 last year. I mean, you got all 4 teams that technically could make the playoffs. You got the South, which you have Houston that could make the playoffs. You got Indy that could make the playoffs. I don't know about Jacksonville. Tennessee ain't making the playoffs. They have Mayonnaise Boy as their quarterback. Then you got the West. You got the Chiefs, and maybe one of those other 2 teams could sneak into a playoffs. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. So let's boil down into my bold take of the evening. You guys ready for the bold take of the evening? I don't know if this is going to happen, and that's why I say this is bold. The Jets win the division. Chiefs win the division. Houston wins the division. One of those NFC North teams, either the Bengals or the Ravens, wins the division. That's 4 teams. Another NFC North team gets in, that's 5 teams. The Dolphins get into the playoffs, and another random team with everything going wrong. I think the defense is going to let them down. Something's going to happen with that offense. Josh Allen doesn't have the weapons. There's always a stud team that don't make the playoffs, and it's going to be the Bills this year. the Bills miss out on the playoffs.
Ooh. Yeah, that's bold.
Oh, I know it is.
Yeah, because I got the Bills going 12-5, actually winning the division. So
They could go. I think they could beat each other up, lose 3 there, lose to the Chiefs, lose multiple teams. I know they play the Ravens this year. It's just rough.
yeah,
I can see them missing. They had to go on a insane run last year to make it, and that was with a bunch of talent that they had that they don't have anymore. I think Josh Allen is going to be on a me against the world type of mentality of having to kind of do it all. But I can see them miss. I can see the Dolphins winning the division or the Jets, but yeah, I can see the Bills missing out.
I think all 3 of the Bills, Dolphins, and Jets make the playoffs.
Yeah, if they make the playoffs, I think all 3 make it.
Gerson thinks the Raiders are going to make it. I had a bold
Gerson
prediction saying the Raiders aren't going to come in last place in their division. That's bold.
I'm gonna need some of whatever Gerson's been
I'm wearing my Raiders jersey.
investing.
It's probably an 18-pack of Modelo or something.
We're gonna need to ship some of that down south or something because
Right. That was a total Natty Ice take.
He's in Utah, so I don't know what he can get his hands on. Reggie, what do you think?
I think, yeah. All right. Ain't no lies told there.
All right. So this was a great show. I wish I was here for the entire thing, but I got here as fast as I could. Long day. Let's throw it around the horn for outros, and then we'll take it away. Reggie.
I just wanted to give a big shout out. We started raising funds for the Alzheimer's Association. What is that? June 2nd. And there's 3 days left. We have raised me and 4 friends teamed up and raised over 17,000 over the last couple of months for a good cause. And it's the first campaign that I was able to be a part of. And I'm really excited and looking forward to doing stuff for greater good in the future. So thanks to everybody who pulled up and showed support. Catch me on all social media, the Network One, TH33, the word network and 1, and you'll find us.
That's good stuff right there, man. Catch me here Tuesday nights. We are very, very close to the season, so looking forward to it. Tune in, get whatever you need from the cheat sheet. We got you covered.
Yep. Find me every Tuesday on a cheat sheet. When the season starts, me and Kyle are going to be doing the Sunday morning start sit show. So if you have any questions on lineups, definitely check us out.
All right. You know where to find me. Drop the mic, FF. You know where to find me on Tuesday nights. I'll be here. I got some stuff in the works coming up that I can't quite say yet because I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but we will see for sure. But got some good stuff going on. Next week is 2 days before the season when we have our show. So it'll be a week 1 preview show. Get everybody lined up for week 1. Other than that, for Reggie, for Jordan, for Jamie, I'm Mike. Have a good night, everyone, and peace out.